Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Fit Tennis Guy. I just don't feel that fit anymore because of tennis elbow, but I still try. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what's been working, what I've been really neglecting, which came from one of your comments. And I'm going to talk about 3 phases of what you can do, for example, like managing pain and repair and maintenance, and then geeking out on tennis, which I did that first. I went to the geeking out the racket first in the earlier videos, and many of you mentioned that you need to rest, which is the main thing that I want to talk to you about. And I'll go into more details of what kind of stretching, what kind of things are really moving the needles for me, and kind of go over that. So I went to my friend's house and we were having this brunch, and I said, hey, I have this YouTube channel called, Fit Tennis Guy, but I'm talking about tennis elbow. And my buddy goes, oh, that channel sucks then. It's like, yeah, I mean, I wanted, as I mentioned before, I wanted to do like, fitness, but I just caught up in this tennis elbow. But again, it makes it more interesting because you actually get to see what I'm going through as a guinea pig. So the biggest thing that I ignored before I start fiddling with the racket is really the resting. And many of you actually commented about it. You need to rest. That's the first thing. And that was true. So when I played once a week in the beginning phase, when I needed to recover, when I needed to repair the damage, was not a good idea. So looking back, the first month, I really shouldn't have played. I just should have just doing the leg work, jogging, work issue, but not going out to play men's night. So what happened was, every week I went out to the men's night, and then after like a set or two, it kind of flares up, or it's kind of a little too painful for me to keep playing, so I quit. And then right after that, on Friday, I recover a little bit, and then gradually recover, and then the next Thursday, I go out and play again. And then I aggravated again. And in that process, I try to find the perfect racket, That was so dumb. So don't do that like I did. So if you have tennis elbow, that's one phase. The first phase is the managing the pain. And this is where you may need to actually go see the doctor to make sure that there's no severe tears, on the tendon and bone where it connects. And this is time to maybe go to a chiropractor or a doctor, or, after that, maybe go to like a massage therapist, that type of thing. Or not even like do anything aggravating, playing tennis, that type of thing. So this is a phase that I completely ignore. So you need to first manage the pain. Some say, take ibuprofen and things like that, but I'm not a big fan of that. And so I am more of like a heat and ice kind of guy, not the painkiller guy. Because I've seen some of my old tennis friends who really got worse because they, dependent on the painkillers. It's kind of going downhill if you get, addicted to painkillers. Because at some point, that painkiller is not going to work. And so I just don't want to go there. Well, here's a fit tennis guy talking right here. So rest is the first thing that I ignored. If you're watching this, rest first and do the pain management. And this is where, if the pain level is anywhere between like 4 and 5 or above, just you need to focus on pain management. Don't even lift up that racket like I did. And don't make the same mistakes. And then the second phase is really like repairing. So once the pain goes down below 4, maybe 3 or 2 in that, that's when you need to now like maintain. The way I look at it is like, I don't know, car maintenance. So you change oil, you change tires, you just kind of, I wish I could change my, tendon right here, right? Maybe there's like stem cell, one of those things could help. But oh, by the way, really interesting video that I saw. This is a Korean doctor video. So in Korea, the medical system is more hybrid between Western and Eastern. So the urban medicine and acupuncture and the cuffing. And then one interesting thing was cuffing, using the cuffing with the acupuncture together and draw out the blood of that section. And this doctor basically said that he basically did like poked here and then used the cuffing thing to draw out the blood. In Korean word is like taking out the dead blood or dead cell or whatever that is. But he said that was the only thing that made the pain go away most. I mean, let me rephrase it. Everything else worked, like ultrasound, not ultrasound, one of those like ultra wave type of therapy, massage worked, acupuncture worked, but this thing, cuffing with taking out the blood, worked the best. So he was recommending people who can't go to work because of so much pain, he would recommend that. So I'm like, whew. Good luck finding that doctor or practice in the United States. Yeah. So the idea I think might be that you're basically taking out whatever the bruise or whatever the dead cell, I don't know, or maybe just aggravated enough so that more blood can go in there. I have no idea. But so going back to like a repair and maintenance, let's talk about that. And this is where you need to basically, what I've learned is that I need to stretch and massage around the tennis elbow. So here's a tennis elbow, right? I shouldn't aggravate this. I should stretch here and massage here because this muscle connects between the tendon and the bones. So if I relax the middle muscle, it takes away the pressure that's pulling the tendon right next to the tennis elbow. That's what I learned. And so like massaging like this way. So for example, here's a big muscle, right? Or muscle, or yeah. If you actually pull it up like this, put a lot of pressure while you're doing this wrist thing, then you're basically physically stretching the muscle right here. I don't know if you can see. So I'm basically pushing it down, going upwards slowly while I'm doing the exercise that they talk about. So this kind of exercise really help because whenever I feel like pain, I do this for like a minute or two. It relieves the pain. Same thing. Like the tricep right here. The bigger muscle in between, when they get stretched, it puts less pressure on your bone and the tendon that's connecting. That's the key. The other thing that I've learned is the shoulder. So I went to chiropractor twice. What's great about chiropractor is that, or massage therapists, the good ones, they will tell you where are the tight spots. So she was kind of going through like doing the thumper here and then like doing one of those butter knife thing with oil, and then like you try to adjust my spine and stuff like that, which I told her I don't like it, so she says don't do it. She didn't. So but she did say in that process my upper shoulder here was super tight. So she really like worked here, and that relieved the pain on my shoulder and the elbow. And the funny thing was when she was really working here, I got a sharp pain on my T-band on my leg. I'm like, ouch. So what the hell was that? And she goes, well, everything's connected. She's young. She's like, I have to connect it. I'm like, huh, that's wild. So I came home. I stretched my T-band with this massage ball with a, like a dimple, so I did that. So I've been working every night before I go to bed, like for 10-15 minutes. I roll the ball on my T-band, my low back, my mid back, which connects between the back and the shoulder. Obviously, the back shoulder, deltoid, and then the muscle up here, whatever, to relax that shoulder, because the most pain came when I served. When I served, it just was really painful, and that's because I have a really frozen like shoulder which I had it on my left shoulder, which I'm recovered pretty much. But the right shoulder always kind of nagging pain. Bad techniques, bad rackets, muscling through. I mean, and serving like this, right? And let's talk about this a little bit because this has been a topic. So I learned from this other Korean tennis pro that I follow, that he basically does stretching like this with fingers crossed like this, go all the way up, right? And you might want to try this with me actually if you're watching it, and stretch your arm and tilt sideways. It stretches your shoulder blades and all the way down to like lower back. I feel it's very tight. And you do, just light stretch like this. Even like 10% stretching is way better than not doing at all. You never want to feel pain. You want to feel nice stretch, right? So when you do this, your tilting gets more natural. And this is how you should serve. That's what I learned. This will prevent your shoulder pain, which has been proven to my shoulder. I was doing this. It's kind of like a baseball pitcher throwing ball like this. They're going to blow out their shoulder. If you look at the pitchers, they throw out like this. So let me demonstrate it like this. So this is more like a high volley that you want to put away, but somehow you shank it and then they kill you, that comes back. But anyways, so this is high volley, swing volley. Kind of swing volley is here slightly higher than swing volley, right? And if you tilt your upper body like we did the exercise, it becomes a serve. Then there's no pressure on the shoulder. No pressure on the elbow. That's what I learned. And I tried that, and it worked. So I was just focusing on the toss, more on the side and try to hit like this, but it was still too aggravating, too much aggravating, because it's so unnatural, but this is very natural. That's why there's like under side arm pitchers too, because there's no pressure there, right? And so kind of like forehand, swing volley, tilt it becomes a serve. So that's what I've been working on. It's been working. And obviously the sleep and the rest, getting good sleep and rest is super important, which is a whole other topic that I can go into, but I'm not going to because this video will become like 3-hour video. Let me know if you want to know more about it. But so the posture and lifestyle. Lifestyle is where I used to play a lot of video games like this. And I'm pretty positive my elbow pain came from playing too much video game. So when you play video game like this, you're using your thumb a lot, and then there's going to be some EMFs always holding on to it. For those who have like sensitive fingertips, when you touch your phone, you know what I'm talking about. There is an EMF on this. If you use a voltage meter or EMF meter, there's going to be a electromagnetic field right here, and you're constantly touching it. And if you plug in and you do it, it's even worse. And you do so much of it, this muscle gets tight, right? That muscle right there. And then that gets tight. And then this got tight. When I talked to the chiropractor, I apparently went there about a year ago, complaining about the same tightness here and here. They had the record. And so after about a year doing the same shit, it finally broke. That's why I have tennis elbow with the bad, squeezing too hard too. So if you're a video gamer using a lot of thumb and you have tennis elbow issue, take care of that. Don't do it. The other thing is that when you work a lot on the desk, so what I was doing was when I use the keyboard and the mouse, I was doing this. Do you see my wrist kind of going up? So this should be the flat or relaxed like this, but I was doing this. And so what I end up doing is I just roll the towel here. I just rolled the towel, this is about what, 2 feet long, made it like that, and then I put this right on my wrist. So when I type, I'm just relaxing my wrist. And this angle is going to put no pressure here. If I tilt, it's going to put some pressure here. And that's what I was doing the whole time. So, some of you suggest that using the mouse on the left hand, which I've been doing for years now. So I'm doing that, but now I have to do that. So look at where you are, where you work, how you sit, how you stand, how you use a computer, how you play video game. All those things will add up to it. That's why I think this tennis elbow treatment really should be like a shotgun treatment, shotgun effect treatment, because there's no one answer. That's what I've learned. Everybody has different responses. Everything else is connected. And even the racket, racket is like a rabbit hole, isn't it? But just looking at the body itself, you gotta have the shotgun approach. Stop playing that video game. Put your workstation very safe for your wrist. You need to strengthen, you need to stretch the muscle, you need to do some push-ups, light jogging, all these things. Get better sleep. You get where I'm going? So what I need to do more of is like a regular yoga, stretching the whole body, stretching. I've been doing a lot of like a band exercise, that type of thing too, but the posture is another thing. So we're all like this because of this, this very addictive machine. We don't always do this. So we really have to stretch this up, which then will help relieving my shoulder tightness, will connect to this. And yeah, I'm kind of repeating myself here. And then the third step, let's move on. Third step is geeking out on the racket. And I made, plenty of videos about it. But now I'm heading into where I'm finding my favorite racket. My favorite racket, it turns out to be a wider string pattern. 16 by 16 will be preferable. If it's 19 by 16, 16 by 19, I don't want the middle section that is tight. So if you look at like a Babolat or most of the rackets, middle section right here is a very tight pattern, and then this is really wide. What I like is the head racket, which is all equally distributed wide, because I shank the ball a lot. I'm not like Mitch at my club who hits always right here. Not even here, but his wear out spot is right here. So that works for him, but my wear out spot is typically like here. If I'm a little late, if I try to hit too hard, I hit here, which is framing, shanker winner, And so what I've noticed is that the ball launch angle, because I'm so inconsistent on where I hit, it needs to be very even. And I find that the head racket has that. It is junior racket, but I added some weight to make it close to about 320 gram. More handle light, as I mentioned before, but not as a severely handle light as like 7, 8, 9 point handle light, but it's more like a 2 to 3 point handle light right now. And a lot of weight on the handle and the throat, which I find that it gives you more plow through. and so when you shank it, it's not as like jarring on your hand. So that's the third part, but I cited a bunch of earlier videos with the third part first, which was a problem. So, it's like I said, the shotgun effect is important. And one of the things that I want to add is apparently if you drink coffee too much, the caffeine depletes the calcium in your body. So apparently that's the case. So I'm trying to drink water when I wake up in the morning instead of coffee in the first thing in the morning, and try to cut coffee, but it's hard. That I don't know what to do with yet. So that's all I have for now. And so in the last about 3 weeks, I played, like last week, I played like back to back Thursday and Friday. Won in third set in both games. I served fine. A little bit of pain, but nothing bad, like level 2 and 3, maybe something manageable. I shanked a few times, but it didn't hurt as much, which was good. And I did buy this racket. It's like on Amazon right now, it's $99. It's basically this version of Head Radical, but it's called S. It's a bigger 102, slightly thicker frame, and I use that. And my theory or my conclusion has been proven correct. You want a powerful racket. Powerful racket, you don't have to squeeze as hard or you don't have to muscle as hard. It gives you easy power, is the best thing for your tennis elbow. As long as the weight, static weight is close to or minimum 300, I think. No matter what level you are, because of the ball weight has certain mass, it needs to be able to handle that mass, which I think that's where like 300 gram is where the cutoff is. If it's anything lighter than that, you're gonna feel the like jarring thing on your hand. That's a bad one. So before I go into too much about the tennis racket, just make sure that you have a powerful enough racket at a lower string tension, the string that gives you a lot of power. Gut is best, and then the multi. And if you don't like multi, go multi and hybrid, with a poly. But I actually play with a poly at lower tension at about 48. Something about poly, the way it pockets the ball, makes me play like it the way I want to play. When I use the multi and the poly, the ball kind of slid too much. It gives you a lot of power, but it doesn't have the bite the way I play, which means less spin serve. Spin serve goes long, top spin dropper goes long a bit, power, but so that's where I need to maybe still just use poly at a lower powerful racket, so I don't have to try that hard, and light enough that gives you a faster swing, but just enough mass, enough that doesn't give you shock on your arm. And the bigger head is better. The 102, that seems to be good for me right now. Anything under 100 I would be avoiding because I shank minimum twice a match. So thanks for watching. That's all I have for today. If you want to buy me coffee, I'll put the link below. If you have any thoughts, put in the comment section. I try to reply to everybody. I've been actually learning a lot from you guys too, so I do appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching and kind of going in this journey of mine. Eventually I'll get to the fitness side, by the way, because I'm calling myself fit tennis guy, not tennis elbow tennis guy, right? All right, thanks for watching. Stay fit. See you next time.